So if we just check, if we run that struct again, and if we check, there is a handy method called methods. We already have had a look on that, and if we put the band, and let's see what it returns. So as you can see, it returns a method which takes name as a string, origin as a string, gender as a string, member as an array, and the start type. So actually under the hood, the type we have defined, it uses a function when it creates that object, and that is that function with the placeholders. So now here the problem is like we always have to provide each value in that exact order. So we have to provide first name, then second origin, then next gender, but we can make that optional. Some field must be provided and some field can have optional values. So to be able to do that, we can add our own function inside of the type, and these are called initializers. So the way to do that, we can write band, and then the mandatory fields, like any other functions, we can name them, because we can see like that's the band is used as a function name. So we are using the same name, band, and we can add one more method in that function list or constructor list, and then it will be like another constructor to use. So we can have a mandatory name and origin, genre, members, and we can have optional start year, and we can have a fixed value for that. So start year can be -9999 if you don't provide that, and the way to do that is call the new function and provide all of these fields. That's a comma. So using that semicolon, it makes the first three argument mandatory and the third one optional. You can provide that, and you have to provide that as a key value or like field name and value, otherwise it will use the default value. So now if we can redefine that, and also if we run the method, now we can see there is three methods, and one is like before, and the other is, we can see the semicolon and with the year. As we already have defined it before, so it captured the actual initializer, but also our initializer. So I will just, so now we can provide that as an optional when creating Dream Theater. So if we don't provide that, it will run, and it will use the second initializer, and it initialized with -9999. But we can see another scenario. So if we just quickly restart that session, Control J, Control C, Control J, Control K, Control J, Control C. The thing I want to show you, when we define our own initializer for the first time, Julia forget about the default one. And because we have redefined the same object twice in the same environment we were working, so it remembered the previous one, but usually it will not remember the actual initializer it had before. So I'll just activate that, and now we can define that again. And now if we check the method, you can see like it, when we provide our own initializer, it forget about the default one. It's just giving us the one we defined. So in real life situation, if you want to have the default initializer also, then you have to redefine that again. So I can redefine that, moving that comma and putting like that. So now we have defined two initializers for that object. So based on the way we will provide, it will use one of them. So to create that, now we can have the year, which is 1985. It creates, but we can have another way where we will provide that as a, but if we want to use that initializer, we have to provide as a key value, not just the value. So we have to provide here start year, and then it will be able to use that 1985. So here it is. So now it's using the first initializer we have defined, and if you don't provide the year, it will still use the first initializer and then add -9999. So that's how you can create your own initializer. But remember, if you define your own initializer, the default initializer will go away. So if you want to keep the both, you have to redefine that. You can have many more initializers. Also, you can have condition inside of the initializer because it's a function. So you can do like a functional condition, some if-else statement inside of the initializer, and we have used that in the project. So during the project, you will see we will implement some if-else statement right here inside of the initializer. So I will see you in the next video. There we will discuss more about some advanced functions. Thanks for watching. I will see you.